All right, team, welcome to day one. So here in day one of the action plan, we're going to tackle vendors. So vendors is a huge deal because the best vendors are going to be taken if you don't get a quick jump on it. So however long you're planning to be engaged, trust me when I say that the further out you're going to set your wedding date, the more vendors you'll have available. For example, if you have a dream venue in mind, it might already be booked on the date that you want, but if you go out a year, you might have better luck, as well as getting the actual vendors that you want. The more time you have, the better. Whereas if you want to get married in 3 months, you're gonna have to kind of have the vendors that are just available, which might not actually be your dream team. So this blog post that you're gonna see coming up is about assembling your wedding vendor dream team. And why I call it that is because there are vendors in your area, they're in my area, so I know they're everywhere, who just work well together. So when I was planning weddings, usually the bride and groom would either come to me first or they come to their photographer first. So it's whoever is most important to you or the big ticket vendor that you want to book before they get taken. So for most cases, it's me. And so then what I do is when somebody books me, I just say, we're gonna use these vendors. We're going to use Flavors Catering. We're gonna use Destination Events because I know that they're my dream team and I want them to be on site with me that day because some of those people have worked with me for 10 years and they know exactly what I think. They also know my game plans. They know the project block systems. So granted, I know that you brides are everywhere across the world. I know that there's people in my class that have been in Canada and Spain. So everywhere that you have a wedding though, trust me when I say that there is a dream team of people for every wedding. And sometimes your venue will know who the best vendors are who work there. Some venues perhaps always go with a certain caterer because she works so well in their kitchen, or there's a photographer that is so good at that venue because they know all the angles and the lighting. So wherever you first book, ask that vendor who they like to work with. So first go get your wedding coordinator if you haven't already, and if you can't get one, totally fine. That's what this course is for. So, and my next course, the project block system. So the first vendor and really the top 5, I call them the big 5 because they are essentially the most important. And that is your venues, where you're actually going to get married, your ceremony site, and then also your reception site because it may not be the same place. Your photographer, your caterer, your music, and your ceremony sound. So also could be a DJ and a band maybe, and then your florist. So those are your big 5 that you need to get first. And I actually have a interview book that I wrote, which is not included in this course, but you can get it with your discount. So I have a coupon code here that I'll share with you. It's available in 2 ways. Hard copy format, which you can order online through Amazon and it'll be shipped right to you, which is like a workbook that you can actually write in, or there's a digital download version where you can just print the questions for who you want to. So let me give you an example. So here's a print and it says questions to ask your hair and makeup people. So you can actually order individual sets like this on Etsy too, and I'll give you that link. So, and you may just know all the questions you want to ask them already, but I highly recommend that you have a plan before you go do your interviews. So, and I write about that in the blog post too. So hiring those vendors is the first huge step to kind of building your whole wedding puzzle. It's really makes or breaks a great day. So I've coordinated weddings where the caterer was kind of subpar, and it's really it's because that was the only person available 3 months away from the wedding, so they kind of just had to go with that caterer, and it can really dampen the entire experience. So getting great vendors is a huge deal, and they don't have to be experienced. I've also had phenomenal DJs where it was his first wedding. So it's really the best way to get your vendors together is by talking to other vendors and talking to your friends who have been married. Who did they use? Who did they love? Who was great? Who was bad? So all that experience, all of that takes a lot of time. So I know we're talking about it on day 1, but this is your action plan, remember. You don't have to accomplish all of this in day 1. This is just to get started. This is the whole week. So this is something that should be in the back of your mind progress, your first step is landing all of those vendors. So really, of those top 5, those big 5 that we talked about, close seconds, 6 would probably be the wedding coordinator if you can afford one, if you're going to have one. And then 7 and 8 is truly hair and makeup. You've got to get those people booked, because the best people book up years in advance. So I cannot emphasize enough how awesome it is to have a phenomenal dream team on your wedding day. But to get that, you have to be proactive. You have to set your action plan rolling. You have to get them in an interview situation. You have to sign that contract. You have to get them booked. So that's your action plan for day 1. Also, what you should have done already is downloaded that checklist. So there is an assignment for checklist assignment 1 that has you just go through and kind of check off the things that you're doing or not doing, and be very careful there, because just because you think you're not doing it this far in advance doesn't mean you won't do it. So like booking a calligrapher, that's something that people don't realize they need until like 3 months out, when they realize they don't want to do all the handwriting. So don't cross it off entirely, just don't check it off. But whereas if you don't have to, if you're not taking your honeymoon this year, don't worry about your passports. Or if you're not leaving the country, it says on there, update your passports. That's something you could cross off. Stuff like that. So you have to be kind of a critical thinker about how that might affect you later. So that's day 1. Go team. I'll catch you tomorrow.